Guys, this is part 3 of Banshee swapping my riding mower. We're really close to getting this thing done. So as you can see, compiled a list here. Really the big things on this list is the steering, the wiring, and then all the other stuff should be pretty easy. So I'm actually looking forward to that. For those of you that are new, I want to give you some context. I originally put a 600cc snowmobile engine in it, and the CVT system, the clutch was just too bulky, so off-roading was impossible. That's why I decided to put the Banshee in here. These are really buildable and reliable engines, and easily you can make them go like 100 horsepower. So yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into the video. Well guys, you know how this thing would always squat when I rode it? Well, we're going to be fixing that. So we got these really nice Fox shocks that are actually tuned for this thing. These snowmobile shocks are just really shot and the springs are too weak, so we're going to try these out. Alright guys, it's been a while since I've picked up the camera, but I've done a lot of work off camera. As you can see, I painted and primered a lot of the bare metal. I finished up these engine mounts. I got my jack shaft finished up, and then the drive shaft. Also got these nice Fox coilovers welded on and installed. Still gonna have to fine tune them, but they're just so much better. So guys, I've actually revised the way this gearbox was mounted. So the new gearbox I'm getting is going to be a gear increaser, so for every one input it's gonna output twice, which is gonna speed up the steering. But as you can see, we have our main shaft done, and then we just have to connect the gearbox to the steering rack, and then it should be all good. Fingers crossed. Well guys, I finally did it, and it took a really long time, but we got the steering figured out. So it's gonna be sent to this 90-degree gearbox and then straight to the steering rack, and yeah, it actually does work. So I'm still waiting on the quicker gearbox because right now it's too slow. So yeah, that should fix that. So check that out guys, I have the drive shaft pretty much all finalized. I still want to add a third bearing support right there. So in order to adjust chain tension, we can obviously move this thing side to side. And then there's also washers underneath the bearings to also help space it up and down. So I did get some people concerned about the chains being too short. And yes, I know that they're going to be prone to overheating and they're not going to last as long, but as long as I keep them properly tensioned and always lubricated, I think they should last. See, this is 530 motorcycle chain, and this thing is really stout. So if we have problems with this, we'll go to 530 O-ring chain, which is even stronger. And keep in mind, it's internally lubricated, so it shouldn't really get hot. So yeah. So now I'm going to weld all these U-joints permanently. I just don't want to worry about any keys falling out in the middle of riding. For the exception of this one,
because I still want to have a way to remove the sprocket.
Okay, you ready? I'm gonna tell you when to go. Go. Go faster. Faster. So guys, I didn't have much faith in this steering. I was lost for like a few days. I couldn't figure out how to do it, and I'm glad I figured it out. So as you can see, it actually doesn't bind. It goes all the way to full lock. As for the suspension, it is actually way better. It doesn't sag as much. And then we have way more preload adjustment. We also have valve adjustment. And we can change out these springs for heavier ones if we need to. And yeah, I think I like it way better. Halfway through the making of this, I got sick. I am feeling better now. I was waiting on parts, and also I had some other problems. Okay guys, so I actually want to go ahead and put the Banshee engine in and try to start it. I don't know if it's gonna start. We'll just give it a shot, and hopefully it does start. Okay, so before I attempt to start it, I'm gonna try to do a leak down test. Basically, you close off the exhaust and intake and check to see if this thing has any air leaks. So, and it has to be able to hold around 6 psi for a minute. So, okay, it's not holding it. Okay, so let's try it now. I let the Yamaha Banshee cure overnight. Okay, I'd call that good enough. It's still leaking at the intake, so I don't want to pull it apart right now. I'll probably do it later. Well guys, that's going to be a wrap for part 3 of this build. Be sure you stay tuned for part 4. Hopefully we'll be able to get it driving in that episode, but I kind of waited till the last minute to order all my parts, so I'm still waiting on that. And then I actually got sick during the making of this video for a few days, so that's why this video is rather short. If you want to support the channel, be sure to check out the link in the description. This is the new design I came out with. But yeah, with that being said guys, have to see you in the next one. Stay tuned for more, and peace.